Well, welcome back to Live at the Loft.
Hello, I'm Terry Knight.
I'm Kelly Guest. So, Terry, before we get into some personal finances of politicians, I've got a couple of stories about PETA. And PETA, I am very conflicted about as a group. I think it's fair to say that it's hard to find more intense animal lovers than, on a basic level, than you and me.
Right. Yeah.
We're insane about our beasts. And Henry, I'm sure if you've ever watched us before, you've seen running in and out of the shot and pretty much taking over, right?
Yeah, and my Gigi is my furry daughter.
Yes.
Love her.
And she is fantastic. And she is weighs about half what Henry does, and she rules the roost as far as Henry's concerned. But I digress. So I'm browsing the news as I'm wont to do on a normal day, and I noticed that there's a story, and this is, I love these kinds of news stories. A seafood restaurant in New York decided, rather than to sell this 140-year-old lobster, they decided, after a diner noticed this this large crustacean in the tank, 20-pound lobster, by the way. They reported it to PETA, and PETA asked them, please don't kill him. He's a senior citizen. Release him. So City Crab is going to put him back into the Atlantic Ocean. And I think that's fine.
Okay, so this restaurant caught or bought a lobster that was caught.
Yep.
20-pound. So I'm assuming they can figure out the age.
That is the age estimate based on the weight. So this lobster is believed to be 140 years old.
Wow.
140 years old.
Boy, it'd be tough meat.
Well, I don't know. You would think.
Right. Okay.
But so they're going to release them off Kennebunkport, Maine, which, interestingly enough, in probably about another week or so, which might coincide with about the time that George Bush is probably heading back to where his family hangs out. So they're all going to go back into retirement together. But, I thought, okay, that's kind of a fun, feel-good story, and I like it. So PETA, fine,
So be free.
But here's the other side of PETA.
All right.
They must be in the fish mood right now, because they've started a campaign, and unfortunately for the guys who may be watching, it's not naked supermodels saying that they'd rather be bare than wear fur on billboards. This is a campaign it's a PR campaign for fish. They said people don't seem to like fish. They're slimy, they're slithery, and PETA doesn't want us to eat fish. So they want the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to stop promoting sea kitten hunting. They want to rename fish as sea kittens because they feel that we wouldn't be likely to eat them if they were called sea kittens.
Really?
So
are you serious?
I'm not kidding. Go to the website.
They want us to call fish sea kittens.
They have an entire...
Okay, here's the thing. They don't meow. And they have no expression.
Some
except
people
for
like
us.
to eat pussy. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Oh my God!
It really actually just came out. I actually just embarrassed myself. And you.
Is there something you'd like to tell?
I don't know.
We're going to have to take a moment.
Oh God. Okay, I'm fine.
I don't think I'll ever be the same.
You know what? Anything I say right now would only be digging a deeper hole.
So now I have to bring up that woman's name, Gabby Hyman.
How did you make Gabby Hyman's acquaintance?
I was reading this article about jobs, and I'm thinking, well, this would
Gabby Hyman. Was that the broadcast trades or what? I'm sorry. You were reading an article about jobs.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, this would be a great topic for the show. So I'm reading this article about the next jobs to come, and I get to the bottom, and the author is Gabby Hyman. And all of a sudden, the article didn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Why would you keep that? I'm sorry.
Especially when if you are a writer by trade and you can use a pen pen name,
Yes.
or if you're somebody that can use a professional name. So maybe you have a problem with changing the name that your parents gave you. And I know that there's a lot of people out there, but I gotta tell you, I'm so trying to distance myself here, and you're not letting me.
Sorry.
And I just spit all over the microphone. Anyway, I've always wondered why people with truly horrible names don't just change them. Or, it is one thing that you have one that your parents gave you, but to marry into it. I knew a girl, and I can say it because it's in Wisconsin. I don't think they have the internet there. I knew a girl who, her last name was Butt. Her name was Chris Butt, but B-U-T-T. She married that name and took that name. Now, this guy would have to be a combination of Chris Noth and all of my fantasy hunks rolled into one before I'd consider even marrying him. But to take that name, I mean, I'm about to say something as bad as what I almost said, and I'm just not going to. Why would you do that? I mean, why would you go through with it? Because it's gross. It's icky to say, and I think names have energy to them.
It doesn't flow. It's like the word bulbous. I've never liked that word.
You don't like bulbous?
I don't like the word. There's just something about it. I've never liked that word.
All right, you know what? This is not going well.
This is degenerating into something completely different.